So slightly different review since there's no footage from this movie to use in the review, so it's just going to be a live one real quick.
You gotta look at our mugs. Sorry.
Yeah, these beautiful faces. I'm joined by my co-reviewer,
Theo Copeland. Howdy.
Yeah, and we just came from seeing Sea Fever as part of the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival. You want to give your thoughts?
Well, the film was billed as Alien on a Boat, sort of a claustrophobic creature from another realm encounter, and I think it lands on all of those promises pretty well. Yeah,
I felt like Aliens on a Boat probably wasn't the right description, but tonally, I think it was right.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to try and revisit the whole like haunted house genre, like from these different places, and to have a boat sort of lost at sea is close to being like a spaceship kind of marooned in the dark expanse of everlasting universes. Even with the monsters, a lot of which was CGI, it didn't feel out of place. I feel like the lighting for that actually helped a lot.
Yeah.
It made it feel more like in the world.
Yeah, I mean, well, the bioluminescence on it was a really cool idea and a way of making it look alien without having to do anything really crazy with it. The underwater photography was beautiful.
Yeah.
It really, really looked good. I mean, the whole film looked really nice.
Yeah.
I think the only major complaint I had was that, I don't know if it was the projector that we saw it with or...
It was like the red burn and the very dark dark shots.
Like the dark shots were a little too dark. There were some times where I struggled to see what I was looking at. The acting in it was actually really good because there wasn't a lot of character, not development, but like backstory given in the film, but all the actors were strong enough that it gave the characters personality and depth without the like script having to do any of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, it was a great ensemble.
Yeah.
None of it felt false except for one thing. And filmmakers, writers out there, if you're going to have a character die early, don't name him Johnny. Because Johnny, come back, Johnny. It doesn't ever work anymore. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So don't.
That was probably the one kind of issue I had with the film, was that there was no running away from the monster because it was more of an existential threat.
Right.
The film never was scary. It was just kind of tense and very like dread infused, but it never felt like you were never scared because there was no physical threat to it. It was just a question of who was going to live and who was going to die.
Right.
And there was no real way to protect against it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, if you were lucky, you didn't get infected and die, but if you weren't, you were a goner.
Right.
And there was nothing you could do about it, and there was no physical way of protecting yourself.
Right. And in the way that I think a lot of successful horror movies work, it fell upon our base instinct for survival.
Yeah.
It's usually like the outward threat is secondary to what we have, the tests that we have to overcome ourselves.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah. Though I will say that they definitely got to the point where they realized, the film's almost over and we haven't killed enough characters. Because there was they killed off 3 characters in probably a 5-minute span,
That doesn't bother me. I mean, they were pushed against the wall, and the whole world went on tilt. And here, let me help poor Rory out. Technical difficulties.
Yes. This was not well planned.
But sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get to the end of the movie, and too many people are still around, and the crowds want to see people get moitorized.
Yeah, I will say the practical effects were really crazy.
They were pretty good.
The first bit of gore, which had the larvae in it, there's gore splatters on the ground and parts of it are moving. That was the one moment that really got me.
It was well done. It was well done, and it the foreshadowing didn't give it away too much.
So what would you rate this?
Oh, out of 5 crossbones, for the way it was shot and the acting and the fact that I don't think it was too oversold, I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I agree. I would say if I was doing half scores, I'd give it a 4.5, but I think it's a solid, real strong 4.